Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season number 7. I'm SP Revolution 5, joined by Rupture here for Truesight TV. It's Pain Gaming up against Luccini Land Center. Rupture, how's it going, bro?
So, doing fine. We're gonna actually have tonight a double header on the Pain Gaming front, actually, which is gonna be Join Dota. For Join Dota League, we're gonna have Luccini, and later on, I think it's gonna be a Skynet for Lima Peru, which is like the South American Star ladder at this stage. But yeah, we're gonna have a double dose of our Brazilian comrades. Muito obrigado, senhoras, senhores. That's all I know on
I just know wait. So
yeah, that's all the way I know. Sorry, I ran out of juez. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to kick this night off with with some good old-fashioned South American Dota. Luccini looking well. A couple of weeks ago they looked like a month ago actually. They looked pretty solid. At the moment, I'm not completely sure though. And on the side of Pain Gaming, they have been looking like Pain Gaming tends to look like, which is pretty darn good. So
yeah, ADR being very good. I'm not sure who this no-name player is.
I think it's Gambit.
Gambling is generally okay. Yes, you're right actually, because HFN. I used to think HFN and Gambling were the same person because at one point he kind of used that tag, but no more. They're not the same person. They're completely different people. So good to get back to my BR roots there. Indeed. So Earthshaker will be the first pick here for Luccini. So they ban out the OP heroes. The Tusk, the Leshrac, the Bounty Hunter. They also ban out Undying, who I consider to be the OP hero right now. But a lot of people disagree with me on that one.
On whom? On the Leshrac?
Undying. Not Leshrac.
The thing with Undying is it's really good when you have a really good team. I think that's a key factor. If your team works together, Undying is gonna be a pain in the ass. It's no way to. Or if the opponent team is horrible, then Undying is gonna punish them like a madman. So
yeah.
I mean, pick your poison, I guess. I mean, if you're losing to an Undying, the enemy team is playing really well. B, the Undying is a beast. Or C, your team is horrible.
Yeah, he is one of those heroes that's relying on a very early timing window. And Pain gonna go ahead and line up their set up their lineup anyway with Wyvern and Gyro as the first two picks. So that will definitely be interesting, as it's gonna give them quite a bit of team fight, quite a bit of AoE damage, but not so much as that's all they want to do. They've got Gyro, they can definitely play around that and get some form up. They can take it late game if they have to.
Yeah, I think that the best thing about these two on the team fight front on Pain Gaming is the fact that both of these ultimates scale both of these heroes team fight wise scale really well towards the late game, because the more that the enemy core has farm into, the better the Winter's Curse is gonna be. At the same time, it's gonna buy enough time for a Gyrocopter to get easy flat cannon shots all over the place, and a rather incredibly easy call down, nukage on the process. So the later that this goes on, those factors won't change. They might actually even amplify as the game drags on. Of course, I'm not a huge fan of the Gyrocopter super late game. He can hold his own, but I don't think he can I don't think he can carry by himself. He needs someone else extra. But, you have still 3 picks to go, and we know Pain Gaming, so I would probably assume that ADR is going to be playing something like a Storm Spirit or a Wind Ranger or something single target focused and early momentum based. And the Gyrocopter is going to be like a backbone for that. It's going to be okay, if we need to go team fight, this is what we have. And
he's
it looks pretty
flexible,
cool.
in other words. He's flexible, in other words.
Yeah, just keep themselves flexible with that.
Yeah, and we'll see the Darkseer come up for Luccini, and this is a hero who, combined with the Earthshaker, is very scary. And we'll even see Pain Gaming ban out that Spirit Breaker, who you often see in combination with the Darkseer. just a very scary duo there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The thing with the Darkseer is that you're able to draft around it, because if you saw that's something I kind of criticize heavily towards the drafts in general, is the fact that you tend to pick Darkseer quite early in the game, and I feel like he's more of a fifth pick sort of status, fifth or fourth, because the thing with Darkseer is the fact that if you see it coming, and this one is not a really good, like, Gyrocopter is not a good Darkseer target, if you know what I'm saying. Because Darkseer really excels at heroes who are heavy stats base. I mean, Gyrocopter is not bad, but most of his damage is gonna honestly come from the flag cannon and the spells.
Yeah.
You know, and illusions don't have that. So I feel like Darkseer excels, like, for example, a Phantom Lancer, that's as we see getting banned, Anti-Mage, I don't know, anything that really kicks in with the Manta. Luna, for example, which is a hero that it's sort of hit or miss on the meta, but, you know, still pretty strong. Those kind of heroes are what Darkseer really excels at. And the Shadowfiend even, to a lesser extent, though. But I feel like picking Darkseer early on your draft really, I don't know, it really undersells the hero itself. I don't know, or not undersells, but it undermines. Sorry,
you give him the opportunity to counter it to an extent, you know.
And it is really easy, because it's like, okay, I'm just gonna build a Gyrocopter, like, with heavy, like, bonus damage, for example, and, you know, like, heavy, like, being like this tanky build sort of hero, and then it's like, well, your vacuum wall is like, yeah, that's nice and all, but it's more of a setup than anything else.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't feel like the vacuum illusion or the wall illusions have become as much of an issue as the vacuum itself and the damage that you get off of the wall initially. As Pain Gaming will also ban out the PL, another hero you kind of don't want to have to play against here, especially since they've already got the Earthshaker picked up. You can't pick that to counter it. And even though Gyro does fine against it, he doesn't do great. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I mean, he can do well with it versus against him to an extent, but that's the thing. That's the key word, to an extent. And, I mean, okay, all of a sudden Darkseer became a little bit better.
This is still support Naga, though. They can't go greedy enough with Naga Gyro, I really don't think. However, you do have to keep in mind, ADR's Naga, pretty damn good, if you ask me.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's like, you know, this is Pain Gaming. I'm not sure if that's if greedy enough is an issue for them. However,
they could be using that as a mind game.
Will punish them.
Yeah, they could be using it as a mind game to say, okay, this is probably support Naga, but there is that off chance that it's not support Naga. There's that off chance that we could use it as that ADR mid, the classic ADR mid. Which, I'm not saying I'd really like to see it. It'd be nostalgic. It's definitely an interesting hero to watch for me. But for most hero people, that's not going to be the case. And they will pick up the Quap right now. That'll be a nice hero to have against Naga Siren, simply because if they put her mid, she gets crushed mid in this matchup. This is an absolutely destructive matchup for the Queen of Pain. You just throw out a Scream, those illusions are dead.
Yeah, at the same time, knowing what players are on Pain Gaming right now, I would assume it is going to be an HFN, either with a Lina or a Shadowfiend. Like, I'm calling it right now, because that's the kind of heroes he plays a lot with, and yeah, I think that the mind game is like, okay, if you're gonna go with Naga mid, oh, by all means, and there's like, no, it's actually gonna be a support. They're just gonna, you know, work around it.
And despite the fact that they have something to prevent Anti-Mage from blinking, they recognize this kind of 4-protect-1 draft from Luccini and say, no, we're not going to let you have the Anti-Mage. So they go ahead and get rid of that one. It'll be Lucini's turn to pick. Now, this is where they have to say, okay, is this a core Naga or not? Well, I guess either way they still ban an offlaner, because it's Lina or Naga mid, basically. Unless they want to run something absolutely bonkers and
Gyro
not necessarily good. I mean, Gyro mid can happen, yeah.
I mean, it's not out of the question totally.
They banned the Bloodseeker.
Huh.
Is it
They're
a
calling their
Slark
bluff.
pick?
I think they're calling their bluff. It's like, we know you're gonna go with Naga support, pretty much.
Yeah. Or at least if you are, you're not going to get a Bloodseeker with it. So, I'm thinking though like a Slark pick for Luccini, or something else that's kind of vulnerable to that Bloodseeker. Which is pretty much all carries other than Auk.
I speak for the team.
Oh, but the Tavo Natures.
Radiant team pick.
From way back in the day.
Boy, this is like some blast from the past nostalgia to the nth
Hey,
potential, man.
Alliance ran it earlier, and since they have that Naga support, their rap potential is actually through the roof late game if it gets there. But
Yeah.
Pain doesn't even have to take it that far. That's the real beauty of this lineup. They can just play an early game aggressive strategy with the Nature's Prophet TPing around the map. And Tavo is very in tune with his aggressive side, we could say.
Yeah, that's one of his highlights as a player.
Yep.
On the side of Luccini, though, the thing is, like, you have an amazing setup for team fight. Even though, again, the Darkseer, I feel like it's a little bit underwhelming. The advantage of the Darkseer is that he's your utility hero,
Okay.
like bar none, because you're able to get mech, Force Staffs, Glimmer Capes. He's a hero who can run pretty much anything on the inventory, and that does help a lot Luccini. And also with a counter push, it makes things manageable, and the team fight is, as I said, pretty resounding. It's rather on the squishy side, though, which could be a problem, but let's see how it goes, because Luccini have a lot of individual skill on their players, so I wouldn't be surprised, like, for example, Cristiano just going ham with that Queen of Pain. So
Which one is Cristiano? I'm assuming Alessia?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're just under strange names today. Great. Thanks.
That's kind of like RTZ with that girl's name, which was Megan or Alicia or something like that. He was running when he was popping. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is your professional name. Like, personal freaking. Let's try to reconnect, because I set up and the play tab crashed me. I'm gonna be right there. Just a moment.
Thank you, Vol, for that play button bug, man.
Yeah,
it's
the best bug.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one in a while. Like, how long have we had like game crashing bugs though? It was like maybe 1 or 2 years already.
A long time. In fact, so far back that I can't remember.
Same here. So yeah, we'll see how that's gonna fare. But yeah, hopefully you guys are gonna enjoy it, or at least enjoy it as much as we do. And let's see how it goes, man. Let's see how it goes.
I'm hoping that
they haven't started. We have a pause
because
someone, I think it's Cat, is actually reconnecting. So
and Revo, but
yeah,
mostly they're obviously not paused on me. I was just hoping that when I reconnect, the weather effects will be gone. Please be gone.
Oh.
Yeah, I turned them on and forgot to turn them off when I'm casting.
Good job, Revo.
They're off! We're good! Unless, it may unpause and just start snowing, but...
Hey, that's manageable, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be winter somewhere. So...
I guess so. Well, not right now. Now it's like either fall or spring somewhere, right, Rupture?
Well, I mean, not down. I mean, down here it is, but I mean, let's say I don't know. It could be winter on.
I guess it's winter
Malaysia
in,
or
Antarctica or something. But
I mean, Antarctica always has winter, so that's
exactly. So it's always winter somewhere.
Okay,
we nailed it.
Right. I'll give you that. All right. You're right, man. Totally right.
All right.
I mean, it's like the argument of why are you drinking at 5 a.m. or why are you drinking at 9 a.m. It's like, well, it's happy hour somewhere. Probably on the other side of the globe, but it doesn't stop me from drinking.
I'm drinking for them. No, you're just a drunk. To which Rupture says, "Oh, okay, whatever."
Yeah. I mean, tell me something I don't know.
You should know by now, yeah.
Anyway,
Speaking of which, I hope
let's run down the teams real quick here. Revo, if you may.
Let's go ahead. Pain Gaming, my boys from way back in the day, boys from way back in the day. back when they were, oh goodness, what was it? They were Keyed originally, and then Swag and Tiger, then CNB, and then Pain. It's going to be ADR, Adriano. They're on the gyrocopter. We'll have HFN picking up that middle lane, Lena. Cat going to be on the Winterwyvern, headed toward the top lane right now. And what we're assuming is Gambling on the Naga Siren, playing support, of course. And Tavo on his signature hero, by all means, the Nature's Prophet.
Who's doing a little bit of a jiggle.
Yeah, he's just getting this groove on in the base there. You can see. So
8 tangos. That's interesting.
He speaks for the trees and he eats for the trees.
30 seconds.
I mean, he is committed to the gimmick, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. On the side of Luccini, the Peruvian rising stars, you could say, or at least who have been rising stars up until a little while. Alright, I don't really know who the Scarlet Mage is, so
we'll just go with Bracket.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Bracket, or I'm gonna call him Pablo. So, Pablo the Scarlet Mage. Thank you, Mr. Flying Chicken. Cristiano's gonna be with the Queen of Pain. Lucky is gonna be with the Earthshaker. Argus, which is which is a standing, is gonna be with the Dark Seer. And last but not least, El Cody is gonna be with the Ember Spirit. And I haven't turned on my mic on Dota TV because reasons.
It's all good, man. And of course, I'm SB Revolution 5. Joining me is my co-caster Rupture, and you're watching Truesight TV here on Twitch. And if you're watching from in-game, make sure and head on over to twitch.tv/TruesightTV and say hey, because we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
especially if you're from Brazil, man, just give us a call, man. It's like, hey, we're watching Pain Gaming, man. It's like, fine, man. Like, more thumbs up for our long-lost brothers, if we could say.
Yeah. Anyways, how are these lanes going to shape up, Rupture? I'm thinking Gyro should do just fine against Darkseer, and honestly, I think Tavo should do fine against the Ember Spirit down here. I don't see any reason Ember should really win this lane hard. A Sprout up before level 6 should make things work, and actually they're going to go in with the Flame Guard, but it's not enough damage, and since Tavo doesn't have any magical damage to dispel that, that means he also doesn't have any damage that gets blocked by it, and he's going to go on in on the bracket here. Forces him to eat a tango at least.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, he is gonna probably eat well, he's gonna burn the other one as well. Just because the Scarlet Mage, the problem with the Scarlet Mage versus Nature's Prophet is the fact that Nature's Prophet can just right-click away with virtually any item build-up that you can muster.
Yeah.
And he's gonna trade way better than you do because, well, guess what? He does have armor, and you're pretty much paper thin. So,
yeah, you're looking at a Nature's Prophet with 62 damage. Oh crap, the lag spike. As Tavo is going to be on the run here. We were just praising him, but the caster's curse is real right now, Rupture. As he will throw down a Sprout, but, well, it's getting eaten away at from all sides, and Lucky is actually going to run into him here. Has the Fissure available. Doesn't actually throw it out. He goes back for the Haste Rune, and he's going to try to loop around and grab him. But Tavo, thinking better of it. Oh, he's been spotted. They'll punch him down.
Yeah, I think that was...
I think it's his first blood. I don't think he even needs the Fissure here. With this Haste Rune, he can just run after him and just say, okay, you're dead. There is literally nothing you can do.
First blood.
So,
that's very, very unfortunate for Tavo. Like, any other rune would have been acceptable.
Yeah, literally any other rune. Invis would have been tricky to deal with. Same with double damage, maybe. But you can at least deal with them. Haste, it's like, okay, there's nothing you can do. Meanwhile, mid lane, we do see rotation in from the Earthshaker. Okay, HFN is taking a lot of damage, but his bottle is on the way, at least, so does have a bit to work with. But Earthshaker getting you that first blood helps a lot in the early game. I mean, he's sitting on 700 gold. He's going to have a probably 4-minute soul ring, and not really have to have done much to get it other than pick up a rune. As Darkseer, he's already kind of given up on his lane. He's headed into the jungle, so...
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, Gyrocopter does get punished a little bit by the Ion Shell, but knowing ADR, he's not gonna make that mistake, or he's gonna be more cautious about his positioning. Actually, HFN, speaking of positioning, yeah, he is reading that like a book.
Yeah.
He knows that Lucky had a really good start with that first blood on Tavo, so he's not gonna risk it. He knows that the Earthshaker is looking for blood, so. I mean, as long as the Nature's Prophet and the Lena stay pretty much hugging towers and such, there shouldn't be too much of an opening because let's say
Alicia does get stunned up in the mid lane, but same with Alina, who's blocked off at the moment.
Oh,
and
nice.
Blink to the high ground, very nicely done. I think that was honestly an attempt to grab the courier. Now, the Dragon Slave will bring her down in the end, but Queen of Pain does get the XP for the kill, even if Alina gets a little more gold. So, a decent trade for Pain, but Luccini coming out on top early on here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Considering that it didn't include the rotation of Lucky, I think that it was a little bit better for Pain, but yeah, just marginally.
But this is an Earthshaker who's been involved in 2 kills so far. 4 minutes into the game, he's got 1,000 gold. At this point, the way he's saving his gold, I'm thinking he's just saying, okay, if I can keep getting kills, I'm getting a very early blink. And that is big trouble for Pain, because you want to use Song to disengage from these fights. Well, if he just blinks in and slams, you ain't songing anything. Singing anything,
You ain't
whatever.
singing a damn thing, you fool. That's
Just
for
let
sure.
me get my vocal warm. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, he's just gonna cut your mic.
Yep.
Pretty much. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Lucky's starting pretty hot, to be honest, and that was quite of a fancy move coming from Cristiano with a, uphill blink. The thing is, Cristiano is that kind of player that he does a lot of fancy moves, and he's pretty strong as a player, like doing aggressively. However, as good as that is, he reminds me a little bit of Sixpot, which he's very aggressive and such, but at the same time he can get heavily punished by overextensions. So he needs to keep those in check a little bit. But I mean, so far his lane is doing pretty good, even though the lane is keeping up with him.
Yeah, and Tabo getting stunned out on the bot lane again. He is sitting on 12 CS, doing okay, especially compared to the Darkseer, who has a whopping 7. And this is a level 2 Darkseer almost 6 minutes into the game. This guy's not having a good time at all.
Yeah. Now Gambit is actually gonna rotate on the middle lane and just gonna keep the Queen of Pain. Good ulti, and actually gonna get a courier in the process, but he's gonna trade himself away for it.
Darkseer grabs the haste,
with
yeah.
a haste, are you kidding me?
The haste and luck this game has been real, but HFN taking a little extra magic damage does manage to throw off the Dragon Slave and kill off the Skyrith Mage. So despite the haste rune, they actually still get a double kill up on the Lina. And I mean, we were talking about how this mid lane's been going pretty easily, but that was a Queen of Pain who expends an ult and only really grabs a support for it, then gets killed in the process. Yeah.
That's important. The courier is important, man, and actually that one might be in a little bit of a pickle. But he knows that Cristiano doesn't have any ultimate, so actually the Gyrocopter is gonna snatch up that kill on the Darkseer. I don't know if he can win of that.
Yeah, and he knows the Darkseer doesn't want to fight him again right now, so he might as well just go ahead and use the call down to farm some. A great move by him. It's going to get him to finish his Ring of Aquila and his Magic Wand right here at the 7-minute mark. So he's got a lot of stat padding to work with here in the early game. Not to mention, Cat has done an excellent job stacking up these camps. I mean, there's a 3 or a 4 stack here on the medium camp. I've never seen one that big.
That thing is huge, man. I don't think that's
a 4 stack.
That's a 4 stack that looks like a little bit more just because he got lucky with the creeps that got, and because the satyrs actually give a lot of money.
And he's got just enough mana here, ADR, for the flat cannon. And I mean, he's only going to get, what, 4 shots off right now? But that still clears off half the camp, which probably means they can stack it again. As meanwhile, on the bot lane, Ember Spirit does take down Lina, who looks like she came in for a gank that was not too successful. And, okay, he does have a remnant back at the tower, and that's how he's going to get back in here. Also picks up a bottle, so going to be okay here. As Queen of Pain, I believe, is picking up, well, part of her treads. Right now in the courier. ADR still farming away, though. As he's going to try to stack it one more time. I believe he's got it here. Yep. So it's basically like a 4.5 stack now that he's farmed off that one camp.
Yeah, and he just left some bread crumbles just in case, let's say the Winter Warren wants to get a little bit of extra gold, even though, well, never mind, he has a Splinter Blast on level 1, so that's not going to happen. But let's say HFN could use some padding, as you said, and just clear the rest of it, and, take a little tour on the jungle. Should feel like home, actually, but yeah, he's actually just going to eat up the rest of it.
Now, moving into the mid-game, who's going to really have the advantage here? Because I'm thinking it's Pain with their kind of fighting lineup. And I think the Ember Spirit just won't be online early enough. Queen of Pain is not getting quite what she wants out of her lane, although she's doing okay.
Honestly, I feel like Luccini has a really good window of opportunity here, just because the magical damage that they can output is just abysmal. Well, not abysmal, abysmally huge. Well, that doesn't make any sense. It's gonna be a lot of damage, okay? Ancient Seal plus pretty much anything that the Ember Spirit has to dish out, considering that most of his damage output at this stage of the game is gonna be magical. Plus the Iron Shell, plus. Well, Earthshaker deals just a crap ton of magical damage.
Yeah.
I feel like they have a really good window of opportunity to snatch a couple of mid-game team fights, especially like on the 25-minute mark. However, with that said, Pain Gaming do have, in order to compensate for that, single target pick-off potential. You know, you have a Nature's Prophet, you have a Lina, that's pretty straightforward.
And then if the enemy team wants to rotate in, you've got Naga Siren's Song to make up for that, who is going to be picking up Mana Boots right about now. Getting them delivered at the moment. It's Queen of Pain jumping on Lina here. Lina in a bit of trouble, but will live here thanks to the Cold Embrace. So, a good old freezing hug from the Winter Wyvern, but...
Yeah.
Oh, and the Haste Rune is going to go... Another Haste Rune for the team of Luccini. I think this is 3 Haste Runes of the 5 that have spawned.
Yep. And actually, Cody's gonna dive into the Naga Siren, and I don't think they can do too much about it. She's gonna die anyway.
Naga tries to split in time, but it just wasn't possible. And even then, I believe Cody would have died. ADR does throw down the ult to attempt to do that, but the Courier actually getting picked off by Quap. I believe this was
ArchaeaDota,
Naga's.
baby.
It was. Or Lina's, excuse me.
That's ArchaeaDota, baby.
Yeah.
High risk, high reward.
And he is going to be going for that Orchid right now, so... Well, he was. He actually picked up a quarterstaff and then quickly sold it, so... Maybe that's not his avenue. I like the Ags here a lot better, but I'm a big fan of Ags on Quap anyway.
Yeah. HFN actually might be, again, in a little bit of trouble.
There's no slam, though. If there was a slam there, they would have been able to kill him off, but... That and the fact that Scarif didn't commit the concussive shot because I believe they were worried about some counter initiation coming in meant that they just weren't going to get that kill. But they do at least force him back for a moment, and I would almost be willing to bet that that's the rest of his Yules on the Courier right now. So an 11-minute Yules would be great, but you're not going to get it till 13 minutes, so...
Well, even though he gets that delayed, at the same time he's going to get more stuff on his inventory just by, you know, nature, well, pretty much by numbers alone.
Yeah,
so
Radiant structures are fortified.
He's gonna have like an item and a half when that courier arrives. But still, I mean, that's a really good, that gives a good window of opportunity to Luccini, which is one of the stronger suits of the team in general, just to exploit, you know, weaknesses or timings on the enemy's lineup.
And Cristiano is going to be sitting level 10. I'm assuming they're waiting for his level 11 to really make something happen. Meanwhile, Lina, though, managing to stun up Cody. They will throw down a Nature's Prophet. Oh, HFN getting taken down. A Spirit thrown out there as well, but ADR caught on the wrong side of the rocks here. As Queen of Pain will come in and finish him off. Talbot trying to get out in time. It looks like he will be able to TP away, but that's 2 for 1. With Pain Gaming not winning the trade, they may be getting a lot more farm up on this gyrocopter, but they are really not getting much else. And as you can see here, that's actually their own ward, so disregard what I was about to say. Naga has moved up top and is trying to take the tower. She will Song and just walk away. Scarif didn't have enough mana for the silence. So.
I mean, they forced the Song.
Yeah, and that's a really big cooldown early.
To be honest.
They won't have another Song till 16 minutes into this game.
Yeah, that's kind of rough, actually.
But at least they're keeping Naga alive. They've given away too many kills at this point, Pain, and they're saying, look, if I have to use an ult and it keeps me alive, I'm going to use that ult. Because it looks like Naga is going for the Guardian Griefs. That's what I would assume, anyway. And HFN should be picking up the Yules when the Courier comes up, I'm assuming. As Darkseer, meanwhile, does have a mech done. Despite his lack of farm in the early game, he's managed to make it back, although he actually doesn't have boots. Okay.
I mean, you're a Darkseer. You don't need that. You don't need the boots that badly because you have Surge.
Yeah, but when you don't have Surge. not in a great
However,
spot.
Bottom tower is under
you
attack.
do want to get him on the near future, but I guess like rushing the mech before boots it's alright. It's acceptable on a Darkseer overall, as long as he immediately goes for brown boots like with the next 300 or 300 gold that he's gonna get. I mean that should be like an there is no question to do that. However,
meanwhile, Tavo is getting he made a nice play here where he managed to stack it while he farmed it. And that's just showing his expertise on the hero. Like, he's saying, hey, look, we have a stack here now. Also, they know about it because they were just walking around here. So, a bit of a pushing ward put up by the Radiant. So, looking to go in the bot lane.
yeah, the thing is, like, Pain need to play it a little bit slow, I think, on their front.
Structures are fortified.
They
Eventually
can't
they're
see
gonna get a top
Skywrath
tower.
here. So, I'm actually surprised. Okay, they'll see him now. But it's a little too late. As meanwhile, Queen of Pain is going to blink in on Tavo. She's looking for a kill here. Nice ult from the Nature's Prophet, and it will bring him down. Narrowly escaping there on just a sliver of HP. Tavo's going to get healed up, but they'll chase after Lucky now. And they do have a net. They won't even need it. ADR now with a double kill off that fight. I mean, you were talking about how Cristiano likes to play so aggressive, likes to get behind the tower and get in there and get those kills. That was a situation where he really just could not do that.
I think he could have. The problem is that the Earthshaker lagged behind a little bit too much, and the lack of a blink. I mean, if the Shaker had a blink, that play happens 100% of the time. Maybe Cristiano would have died anyway, but at least that kill would have been safe and sound. But the thing is, like, well, I mean, you tend to when you're playing Queen of Pain, you tend to forget that the other heroes don't have the ability to blink away as you do. I mean, unless that Shaker again gets a crap ton of farm, which I mean he did, but he's investing into different items. So,
well, he's had to invest in different items. They weren't going to get it quick enough. Nice ult out here from ADR. It will slow them down, even though there is a blink up from Queen of Pain. This is a basically full health gyro, and I'm not sure they want to come in on this, especially as Lina comes in, throws down a stun, but won't connect in time. Tavo TPing in a little forward. They will stun up the Darkseer, and it looks like this is who they're going to go on. Although a vacuum comes out, there's no wall to follow it up. 3 spirits committed here. Naga's got a song. Can she get it off? She will! Just in time, 72 HP for Pain to make the retreat. Can they get out of here in time, though? Naga's still staying alive. Queen of Pain will blink forward and find it, and they will use the Nature's Prophet ult to try and ward them off from pushing this. But since they know everyone just backed up, this is a free tower for Luccini.
at least free damage if they're smart about it, because I don't think they're able to break the tower fully to it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The thing is, like, it was a good song, but the problem is that the Naga didn't have any. He had that TP to actually get into the fight, so he was pretty much doomed otherwise. That was a really good disengage, all things considered.
Yep, and Cristiano now looking for Tavo, but not quite going to find him. Tavo is saving for an Orchid here, which is going to be invaluable up against the Queen of Pain. Not so much against the Darkseer, since I'm assuming eventually he'll get Guardian Greaves and he can just purge it off.
Dire's top tower is
But
under attack.
being able to silence down that Queen of Pain is just going to
They're
make
gonna
her
get the
life
Shaker
hard.
though, Loki, or will they?
Slam comes out. It's not quite enough, though. They will throw out a Queen of Pain ult and a Skywrath ult to pick up 2. So even though Lucky won't be so lucky as to see the XP for that, he will at least see them get killed after his death.
Man, Luck is playing he's playing really well versus the Brazilians right now. He's getting a lot of plays that he shouldn't, pretty much. He's turning it around, even though he dies, but I mean, it's a support. It's kind of what you expect to do. He's always getting really good trades on the back of this.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's shining way more than pretty much anyone else in Luccini, maybe outside of Cristiano, but just barely. I mean,
Cristiano is making
an issue for Pain.
Yeah, Cristiano's making the plays that he has to in the moment, these high-risk plays that you talked about, and they've been very rewarding most of the time here, but it is still a close game. We'll take a look at net worth, and we will see that Luccini is slightly ahead, but now, if they can stun her up, they'll actually be able to stun her. They won't even need a Laguna to bring her down, but it was on cooldown nonetheless.
That was a sick TP, and that's something you will never hear on on the Dota 2 cast, but he TP'd behind the trees right here.
Radiant's top tower is
So
under attack.
Cristiano didn't have a clue.
Yeah, because he couldn't see him because those trees were still up. They were destroyed when he actually TP'd. And at that point, it was
he's
too late.
stunned,
Radiant's
actually.
top tower
Yeah,
is under
he was
attack.
Yulesed and then instantly stunned. The perfect chain stun there by HFN. So
That's some serious savviness on the side of that Lina, man. That's only comes with experience. There's no way you cannot, do that just by talent alone. It's like you need to know that you're able to pull that off.
But meanwhile, Cody is going to have a full Battle Fury completed at the 19-minute mark on Ember. Not the greatest timing in the world, but definitely not the worst, as he's sitting second on the net worth board, just behind ADR, who's going for BKB, so no really high damage early on here. A little afraid of that Darkseer turning it around on him.
I think it's more about the Shaker. I would be more worried about the Shaker than the Darkseer, to be completely honest.
And that will leave you safe from his stuns. And of course, with Skywrath on the board, you kind of have to get a BKB. That's what I feel like Skywrath is. He's the, look, no matter what you do, even if you think you can kill me, you still have to build a BKB. Because otherwise you are doomed. And ADR does get silenced up here. A surge in from the Darkseer, but it's just not fast enough. This Darkseer has got 800 gold. Could be looking for those early Guardian Greaves, but also I think it's more likely to be a quick blink for him so that he can get the jump on Pain. Otherwise, that song really just messes him up.
Yeah. And even with the blink, it's going to be a little bit tricky to pull it off because, I mean, if they have proper vision of it, then Naga should be one step ahead. However, I really love this aggressive war on the side of Luccini on the secret shop. And this one also is one of those rare wards that you don't see it often, playing defensively, because most supports tend to focus on the runes. But that ward those two wards are particularly good because they cover a significant amount of ground for both of themselves. And actually Cody, with a double damage, I think. No, that's an Ion Shell, never mind. It's just, Dota trolling me over.
Yeah, the Ion Shell double damage, but we will see Cody getting taken almost down. He's actually still alive. Manages to get away. Big Quap ult coming out, but it's not quite enough damage. She will blink away, but Tavo, he's there with the Sprout. He should be able to bring down Alicia as ADR. He picks up his BKB and instantly is forced to use it. Flat cannon shots, not connecting on too much there, as he will get the rocket damage up. Yep, that's the double damage up on Cody. He is getting away, and he's surged away here. Still only one casualty so far. Make it two, though, as they bring down the Earthshaker on the back end of that. Sorry, that fight was a bit hard to follow.
It was quite disjointed, which I feel like it really was on the favor of Luccini. And actually, Argus almost gets trapped at the Treants, but it's not gonna happen. Cody's gonna turn it back around. The Darkseer is actually gonna drop to the cooldown, and Cody's like, I don't wanna be here, guys. And Tabo's like, yeah, you know what? We're peacing out.
Let's leave, guys. Yep, they've got the song just in case, because they need to protect HFN right now. He's only 1,000 gold away from the Scepter, and if they lost him, that would be pretty scary. The problem with this Naga Siren song is, it's not like other ults. Like with Gyro's ult, okay, you say, okay, we have a Gyro ult, we go up to the tower, we push the tower. If they come, we Gyro ult, and we kill them. If they come and we Naga song, we just walk away. And we don't even get any kills with it. It's just kind of a, okay, we disengage, and yes, you're still alive. But at the same time, you just blew a huge cooldown that now you're relying on that to push, in a sense.
Yeah, however, if you notice also the Earthshaker bought back, so they have
if you can force out a buyback and then disengage, you're doing economic damage with it. You're not actually doing physical damage,
which
but
that's pretty much what happened.
And we will see Lina pick up the Glimmer Cape. Not what I'd usually go for on Lina, but with all the magic damage coming out from Luccini, it's pretty necessary this game, to be honest. And the supports aren't really anywhere close to it, so delaying your Aghanims a little bit for this Glimmer Cape is going to help out a lot.
Also, HFN could just disassemble it later on to have like a silver edge.
Meanwhile, up top, Tavo, he gets silenced, but he actually is forced to walk through the wall. The mech coming out from Naga and the Cold Embrace is going to force them to commit a little bit more. But Alicia, it looks like Cristiano wants to go in for this. He will dodge the net with the blink away just in time. And Cody's here. Tavo's in a lot of trouble. He overstayed his welcome, as now there is going to be a movement forward. Cat trying to stay away, does have that Winter's Curse. if he wants it, but he will get over the cliff and away, as Skywrath does place down a ward that spots him, I believe. Okay, possibly. Not much. Meanwhile, though, ADR and HFN are going to be down bot. They don't have mana for a Laguna, but it's only Queen of Pain here, who, albeit she has the ult, it's not that much of a threat.
Yeah, actually, HFN kind of screwed up that stun. If he was a little bit quicker on it, I think he gets a really good setup for the Lina. Well, for the colon of ADR, and maybe they could have killed the Queen of Pain. However, I think that was a little bit of a blessing in disguise because Loki was just trailing behind. So, actually, speaking of the Lina, HFN is going to scare the living crap out of Darkseer, but nothing else is going to come out of it.
I think she wanted to go in there, but she saw the Skywrath TPing, and she's like, nope, not worth it.
This doesn't look like the best Silver Edge game for Alina, to be honest.
I don't think
the fact that there are no good passives to pretty much dish out. However, the damage reduction, it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, damage reduction on Skywrath, because usually the problem with ganking a Skywrath is, even if you gank him, he'll probably turn around and kill you at the same time.
I was thinking more about the Quap, to be honest. I mean,
that as well. But the problem is, picking off Quap, when you don't silence her down, she's just gonna blink away. Skywrath doesn't have that luxury.
You could, hypothetically, and this is just hypothetically, if HFN keeps doing, the way that he's doing, he initiates with the Yules and just pulls the regular initiation, Yules into a stun, without actually using the Silver Edge, and then committing it for a right click after the combo,
But then,
just in case.
The other thing is, though, after the combo, if you commit it for a right click, she still blinks away. And you're assuming that with your combo, you should be able to kill Quap. Or at this point, it might just be wasting a 10-second BKB charge. So picking up the Silver Edge, does it help you kill them more?
I mean, it would be good. Really. It would be good on a team fight, I guess.
In a team fight, yeah.
Also, denying the stuns on the Shaker, it's kind of a big deal, actually. Because that's the only passive that I think that it's really relevant in this match. Aftershock, denying Aftershock from a Mirror Shaker, it just takes away so much control out of him that he just becomes like a different hero. Yeah. And also Cody very way deep, and that was gonna catch him. However, he has a haze rune, so oh my god, seriously?
What is the luck with these haze runes?
What the?
Paging RNGesus, yes. Why do you give them so many haste runes? And you see, Cody's got a remnant to get back to, and he knew it. Okay, that was beautiful. He timed the cooldown on the Orchid, because just as Orchid came off cooldown, he was already gone. And now he forces Tavo to use it, but Tavo doesn't even fight him. He TP's out after he silences him. Just to say, okay, you could stand here and farm my tree. That's fine.
You're like, you know what? I don't have time for this BS.
Basically.
Just go away.
And it is going to be a Claymore up for him, so I'm assuming it's going to be Shadowblade. These supports do want to be a little greedy, although Earthshaker already has his Blink Dagger, and Skywrath already has Dust for the Lina's Glimmer Cape. Maybe not the greatest of Silver Edge or Shadowblade games, as I'm assuming it'll just be Shadowblade for Natures, although maybe super late game it's a Silver Edge.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you're a little bit, you're actually, well, that's a better option for Pain, to be honest, to have actually Tavo coming with the Silver Edge.
Oh, and actually, speaking of Pain, they're going to be smoked up. They'll find Cristiano, and he is dead as they come. Doesn't even get a spell off as Tavo actually grabs both those kills, that and the Skywrath Mage, as well as the tower with the ultimate. And Luccini, they want to engage here, it looks like, but do you really want to engage 3v5 against a Naga Siren Song and a Gyrocopter ult that are still up indeed?
Yeah, they considered it at the very least, which shows a little bit of the character that Luccini has as a team, but I mean, numbers don't lie, so they need to think better of this. Now, Pain is gonna go for the Roshan play, and the only worrying thing about this is the fact that they don't have any medallion, but they're still dishing a pretty hefty amount of damage to it, so...
Yeah, they've got 3 cores who are pretty high damage dealers in general, and this Rosh is going to be pretty easy for them for that case. And there we go. ADR going to pick it up. he is sitting on still a 9-second BKB, whereas Queen of Pains, it's actually still 10 seconds because she just could not get it off in time to live in that fight. And Lena, we talked about how she got the Glimmer Cape, but she's still going to pick up an Ags, but hold the phone on the other side of the river. There's an Eye of Scotty already up on the Ember at 28 minutes. Very impressive game for him. I normally don't go Scotty first item, but I can see why he does this game. Simply because...
it's second, technically.
Yes, but I mean first item after Battle Fury. Battle Fury is so core on Ember that I don't even consider it an actual item anymore. It's just kind of, you have to have it.
Yeah, but, you know, in order to, you know, for the item build, you know, status for, you know, disclosure properly, you would say it's his second item, so...
Pain has
yeah, the thing is, it gives a lot of control for them,
holy crap.
but it's at the expense of, you know, a good amount of damage. You know, this is not a Desolator, for example, which could turn a lot of damage into Pain's lineup, because it's not that tanky outside of the gyro, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking we were just a few gold away from the Guardian Greaves for Naga, but she'll actually pass off the gem that she bought to Winter Wyvern and pick up a medallion as well, so that's going to help them quite a bit in these team fights and in future rushes. Not on the past one, of course, but...
Oh, Cody?
Cat does make it to the cliff, so unless Cody wants to commit one of his remnants, which he only has 2, speaking of which, he will get away. Just barely, though.
Wow.
Meanwhile, though, up top, Argris, he's going to be able to push in a bit, get some Ion Shells off, and force a reaction out of that game. Although, they will be able to move in some illusions and clean this up fairly quickly. Although, those are going to die to the Ion Shell. Yeah, and he may have easily found him. Now, Tavo does manage to invis out, which... This is where I'm a little surprised they picked up the gem when they just bought out a Shadow Blade, but they're going to be able to do it.
I mean, the interesting thing about this is the fact that the gem is not on the Naga, because...
Oh no, Pain! They smoked once, and then the other support smoked again.
They just overblazed it.
Yeah. But they will get a pick-off out of their double smoke, and let's be honest, chances are you don't get a pick-off out of half of your smokes in professional Dota. So, it's okay. It worked in the end, but...
Yeah, it was the second was like a good luck smoke, so to speak.
Yeah, it was an all-in smoke, in other words.
Yeah, it's just
we
like
use our other smoke, they
down
will walk
this smoke in order to make it succeed.
Yeah,
you know.
Double the smokiness.
So they're going for the 480, you could say. No, the 840. Sorry.
Rupture. That math. That math.
Math on cast, you know. What could go wrong?
What on earth could go wrong? As meanwhile, Ember will trade for the bottom tower, so they do lose their mid. Oh, and nice escape by him. I don't think he stalled him. He might have spotted Lena. But yeah, it was pretty obvious that somebody was coming.
I mean, he just was a little bit fancy with it, because honestly I think that they had like a sliver, like a really, really small window on the side of HFN to get the Yules to kill him, but it was just, you know, like, just fractions of a second, so... Even then, what I like about this Naga build-up is like, they're very strong items for her. The problem is like she's sitting at 1000 HP, but hypothetically if she's able to farm up a Scepter or something along those lines, the effective HP she's gonna have is gonna be insane. I mean, she's sitting already at 22 armor and can reduce a lot of it, plus sitting on a mech, and hypothetically with a Solar Crest, this
a lot more effective HP.
Solar Crest plus Riptide. That's just nasty, man. That's just nasty.
Yeah, and ADR with this Aegis, which is still up for another 30 seconds or so, he is going to try to pressure the tower just with no fear, because he knows he's either got a free regen rune or a free life. But he's got to be very cautious, otherwise he might just waste it, as it should be any time now that that's going to get reclaimed.
He's just going to call down.
Yep. He gets the mana back anyway.
Tavo could get Cristiano, right? And even forcing a BKB out of this.
Yeah, and he does actually have the Desolator, which will help him out a lot here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was like, what's going on? So a bit of a longer Roche, 10.5 minutes, actually, on the Roche overall. And Lina does have enough for Boots of Travel when she can get it, although she does pick up a Blink. Okay, that's a fine choice as well. I do like her having Boots of Travel, though, with the extent that Pain is ratting. But Blink is fine. And you've still got room for those Boots of Travel, of course. It's not like they're mutually exclusive.
Yeah, it's like the second best thing for her.
Indeed. And ADR... Oh, that was just a TP being brought to him. But he is only 700-ish from the Butterfly.
For
HFN,
the,
oh!
Damn!
Did you see that? She was still here in the fog. Skyrath's standing right here. She Lagunas, and she instantly blinks over here. I don't think he even saw Lina. At the moment, he was just like, what's that? Oh, why am I dead?
That's like a textbook definition of just get wrecked.
I just want to put it out there that you guys are lucky I even saw that kill.
I didn't saw it.
Like, it was just like an instant thing.
Pretty epically, so I'm just gonna take your word for it.
Like, literally a one-shot. Because Skyrath is sitting on, well, less than 950 HP if he's one-shot by Laguna. And he was indeed one-shot by the Laguna, so...
I mean, he has a Glimmer Cape, so I think he felt a little bit... He's sitting at 800 HP, 870. So, yeah.
Okay.
And, I mean, he was sitting with a Glimmer Cape, which is nice.
It doesn't do anything.
He got it, like, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. And Lina's not gonna, like, stand there and say, oh, well, I'll use my Yules on Skyrath, and then I'll stun him, and then I'll throw a nuke at him, and then if he's not dead yet, I'll Laguna Blade him. She's like, no, he has a Glimmer Cape. Screw that, I'm just gonna Laguna. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Skyrath mage.
Let's kill the Skyrath slowly.
I mean,
you don't want to get silenced. Because it's such an instant cast point that I believe in the time between the drop from the Yules and the actual, okay, he saw the Wyvern coming up here, even though they tried to, like, double Glimmer Cape. Nice use of the dust there, but he does back off. And that's a, Solar Crest, Donald the Naga, who has got quite a bit of farm rupture.
Tabo actually doing a little bit of Ratizi Spirizi there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this Naga's doing quite fine for herself. Again, the only downside of a Naga support is that
he's gonna silence Cody, though! And Cody's at least gonna take a lot of damage, but he wants to re-goose here. And he may just be able to. The ulti comes out. Tabo's trying to re-engage.
Kind of whiffed a little bit the chains, I think.
Yeah, he missed his chains, and then, he did do a nice play there.
Skyrath?
He caught everything in that, but yeah, big team fight about to happen top. Skyrath's gonna go down. There's actually a wall from Darkseer, but no vacuum to follow it up before he gets Winter's Curse. Meanwhile, Tabo gets silenced up. He will end up falling, but Gyro will trade for the clock. And meanwhile, Cody, he's still alive on 150 HP. They do use the wall, but they don't get anything out of it. And Pain just lose one, but it's Tabo. He has buyback if he absolutely needs it, which I don't believe he does. And they have quite a bit of, movement to push with. Keep in mind this is also right after Gyro gets the Butterfly, so it was a relatively low-risk fight for them.
Yeah, and also getting another kill into Cristiano really hampers his progression heavily. He has his BKB, but his sight is leaks ahead. I mean, it's leaks off for him. At the very least, they didn't commit the Echo Slam on this, so I guess they could re-engage on the back of this, but I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, and we'll see the surge away from Darkseer as he's gonna get Bracket at least under his own tower. As Cody, he moves forward but realizes there's not quite as many people here as there just were. And now they will dust up the Wyvern. They're going to throw down the ult. The vacuum coming in, but it's just not enough. They will grab the fissure. Cat is stuck, but here comes the song. As Cody, he's going to get trapped out. They'll just TP the three of them out. And, well...
That was a big F-up from, actually, Cat. Because ADR popped his BKB, popped everything, and he got cold embraced. So, yeah, that happened.
It was a bit of a mistake, but it didn't cost them too much. I mean, we talked
because
about...
it was your 9-second BKB.
Yeah, but still...
But, the disengage was flawless, though. I mean, the song was like, okay, we screwed this up royally. Let's GTFO right about now.
If we're gonna have to commit that much, we'll commit one more thing and get out. Because Noctis like, guys, I am not losing the gym. Whatever I do, we are not losing this gym, and we're not losing you two either, so let's just song and leave. We're done here.
It's the fact that, okay, pretty much our gyrocopter popped his full arsenal, and he was just standing still for like good 3 or 4 seconds. So it's like, yeah, this team fight is not gonna fly. We're no, we don't want any of this. It's on you, Cat. So we're getting the hell out of here. I think that's what I assume, and probably the main reason why that happened. I think it was a little bit of a ping issue on the side of Cat, so therefore giving the reason of the pause, I would assume. I was like, okay,
yeah.
That, or they're like, okay, Cat, what the fuck just happened?
Cat, go to timeout.
It's like,
sit in the fountain for 5 minutes, but I don't want it. Nope.
Bad wyvern.
Bad wyvern. Psh, psh. Spray her with the little water bottle, except it freezes on contact, so...
Man, you're a cruel person.
I know. I'm just creative.
Yeah, I am too, so I don't care. But, I mean, so far, Pain are coming together as you know, their lineup is coming together by themselves. Luccini, they have the tools and they have the means to, pretty much win this game right off the bat. The problem is they're getting caught up a little bit too spread out. Mm-hmm. I would assume they're getting a lot of into 1v1 skirmishes, which I feel like with such a heavy teamfight oriented team, I know redundancy. I think they should be bunching up a little bit more. The problem is, like, if you do that, you're not farming efficiently. So that's the oldest balancing act that you.
As a Echo Slam comes out, but on the glimmered target, Luna with the self-fuels will blink. And Laguna is used as well. They will bring down Lucky. That Orchid's going to do the job. Cristiano, the hit from the Shadow Blade was enough. They're making trades here. 2 for 2 right now, as Tabo will fall as well. But they had to commit a ton for that. That's an Ember, no charge ulti for a bit. Queen of Pain, Earthshaker ultis, Skywrath as well. And keep in mind, this is a Quap without Ags. Just kidding, she didn't commit the ult. It just came off cooldown.
Well, that was awkward, Mr. Caster.
Yeah, to report this caster, he's terrible. She doesn't have an Axe, and so it's a long wait a second. Why does it say 3 seconds? Something's not right here. She is going for a Lincoln's, though, to hopefully block the Laguna Blade. But, see, that's kind of the fool me once, shame on me, okay? Like, okay, I popped your Lincoln's, very cute. But it only works once, okay? She's not going to come up and be like, oh, well, Quap probably just sold her Lincolns now, I'm just gonna Laguna. Nope. Not gonna happen.
There's a lot of value still to it,
Oh, but ADR is perfectly fine. I mean, it's not a huge commitment there. It's a 40 second cooldown. It's like blowing a Quap ult with Scepter. Except you've not even had to commit to a Scepter. So, that's nice.
Yeah. And it's multi-purpose as well, because you can, farm away at it like no one else's business, and the damage is not enough to be like a really heavy investment into it anyway. The thing is, the Lincolns, it still holds a lot of value, because eventually you will have to pop it with something, and the options for Pain are kind of limited in this.
Yeah, but you can just use the Yules.
Yules or an Orchid, but I mean, honestly, if you're gonna
or a net,
commit a Yules for
or a Winter's Curse. Okay, don't use Winter's Curse, please, but
use Winter's Curse on that guy next to her.
Yeah, you use Winter's Curse on the guy next to her, and you've got more than enough time to figure out how you're gonna pop it, what you're gonna do, yada yada yada, and yeah. Excuse me.
I mean, using a Yules to pop a Lincoln's, it's actually quite good for the Queen of Pain, considering that it's like a good setup stun. However, considering that how the teamfight goes, it could be like less relevant, of course. But the problem is, like, the ideal item for popping Lincolns usually is the 4-step, and there is no sightings of a 4-step anywhere on the side of Pain. So, I mean, he will probably still die, but at least they're gonna have to commit something that might have some impact on teamfights in order to pull that off. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe net they could come in on that, like Ensnare. But Ensnare's a good disable.
It's a good disable, but it does at least pop that Lincolns, and it gives you something to engage with. The problem is the gap between when your Lincolns get popped and when you blink as Quap. Because what they really need to do here is pop the Lincolns and silence immediately, pop the Lincolns and Yules immediately, or pop the Lincolns and just outright kill her.
Or pop the Lincolns on the snare here, because I think she cannot blink with.
She can.
She can?
Yep, she cannot blink.
What was the one? What was the spell that you cannot blink away from?
Ensnare.
Oh.
And Searing Chains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are two of them. Also, Nature's Tree ulti.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Meanwhile, though, ADR doing work on the top lane. Does have that Aegis, does have a Satanic, and before they'll even be able to react, they'll go down. Now they will take down the Holy Courier!
What was in that?
I don't know.
We need to have a hotkey for this.
The problem is my hotkey... Just a second. We'll figure this out real quick.
Work in progress, ladies and gentlemen. We're going improv with this.
It was a sheep stick for Lena, basically.
Crescendo's dead, so Lee's gonna make him pay for it. That was a really good light strike array, just during the animation of the blink. Or actually, he blinked away, but they were able to track him like perfectly, without any vision, to be honest. So that was just really good position from ADR. And
indeed.
And the Lincolns didn't pop because, well, it's light strike array. It doesn't give a damn about your Lincolns.
Yeah, it's a AoE, so it doesn't really care. And we will see them pushing down the mid lane right now. Naga is apparently, I'm assuming, going for the Aghanims. Jim on the deck as Nature's does take down the Earthshaker. Sorry for missing the edge of that kill. Oh, the snatch from Darkseer! But he doesn't realize they have their own Jim. They'll bring him down anyway, as they're committing a lot to this, but...
Like, you can't snatch the freaking gem from us? What the hell do you think we are? Fort Knox? Well, actually...
If they were Fort Knox, you couldn't snatch the... Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the point. That's what I was going for. But still, gem on the ground. What the hell are you guys doing?
It's bait.
It's
bait. They're just like, come on, come get your gem. It's right here.
And they forced 2 buybacks on the back of this. Oh my god.
And at that point, they're just like, okay, you can have your gem.
Okay, Pain Gaming is officially Wall Street. Fuck this, man.
They're just like, okay, you want your gem?
Jesus.
You're gonna have to pay for it. Sure. Hey, like, what was that? Probably 4,000 gold for a gem? That's a great trade for Pain. They're like, fine, we can get rid of the Shadow Blade.
Them anyway. Oh, okay. Luck is gonna pick it up. No, he's not gonna. What?
But don't they have their own gem, right? They did. Yeah, it's on Naga. So, and keep this in mind. If Naga makes illusions, those illusions have the gem too, Rupture. So, Naga just has to make illusions and walk them around with Gyro. And he's just like, oh look, a ward. Let's kill it. She can actually sit in the base and de-ward.
I mean, she could deal with it herself, to be honest.
Well, she needs a Quelling Blade. Or a Blink.
I mean, the illusions can kill the wards.
Not if they're on high ground. They're
takes
melee.
a while. Oh, yeah, you're thinking about high ground?
Yeah, and keep in mind, a lot of wards get placed on high ground, Rupture. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
You know this.
I was thinking about regular, wards on choke points and such. You know, the classic ward that is sitting around here, or here. Those are the ones I was thinking. If we're talking about cliffs and shit, okay, that's a different hill beans.
Yeah.
However, how are you gonna get vision to that? Oh, with Winter Wyvern, of course. What the hell am I thinking? Of course. I mean, that's what Arctic Burn is for.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, you can just get vision by Nature's Prophet as well if you need to. If you give me 1 second, I'm trying to get where I can fix the, what do they call that new
bug?
Microsoft browser? Oh, Microsoft Edge. Totally the same logo as Internet Explorer, but it's not Internet Explorer, guys.
Is under attack.
Oh my god, you're using Internet Explorer? What the hell?
The reason I use it is because that's where I log into the Truesight TV account from. And I rarely have to do this.
From everywhere. We are sorry.
It's fine though. This is how I'm going to fix the score.
Alright, alright. Anyway, in the meantime, we're gonna have an MKB on the side of the Ember, actually, which, I mean, this guy's starting to pack a real punch.
He needs the MKB, though, because Nagasiren has that Solar Crest. They're just gonna plop that right on ADR and say, okay, we can push now.
And, of course, the Butterfly as well. It's a huge factor in this. This is the reason why I started to really dislike Butterfly and Gyro Hunter overall. Like, the current item build, I mean, it's efficient, but it's so predictable that you're just gonna play around it. This is the part where I would say, you know what, you could go with a Scotty AC build, which, I mean, I have rambled on before, and I still think is legit as hell. Just because of this, you know, it's like, okay, he has an MKB, I'm just gonna go Curious. I don't care. I'm just gonna sell the Butterfly. And MKB is not that great versus someone who has Curious. Because in this case, you don't have a Desolator to cut through it, because you are going for the Scotty. So...
Or a Medallion, for that matter, I believe. Yeah, they don't have a Medallion.
Yeah, so... I mean, you pretty much can just, like, tank most of the damage that this Ember can do to you, because most of that damage is going to be heavily diminished by the huge amount of armor you're going to have. And on top of that, you're helping pretty much everyone with the aura, because, I mean, your Lena's going to attack even faster, Nature's Prophet is going to be like a freaking machine gun at this stage, and, I mean, even the Winter Wyvern is going to get more hits with the Arctic Burn as well, which, of course, packs a ridiculous amount of damage per right click.
But it doesn't
at least
stack,
for a support.
If I'm not mistaken. Enemy units can only receive the Arctic Burn debuff once per cast, so... It's actually Tavo is going to catch out El Cody! They'll get the Winter's Curse off on him, and he is as dead as they come. And they do apparently come pretty dead. And instantly,
I mean, he was blinking
like,
away and trying to get a TP. The Ember was like, okay, I'm just gonna rem that away, gonna get me some nice, good scroll because I'm a little bit out of position. All of a sudden, Tabo was like, oh,
hello,
free gold.
How are you?
Nice, just what I needed.
It's a burning ball of gold right there for him. So.
And now Krishna is just gonna blink away. Jeez.
And you can see, I believe that was the Orchid. Yep, the Orchid popped it, and HFN is going to try to go in there, but he didn't actually Yule, so he couldn't land that stun, but
he didn't have range anyway.
I'm a little surprised he didn't try to blink and Yule's that. I mean, he may have lost his life to the Skara, but he would have given ADR space to push in the top lane, and in all reality, giving ADR some space to push right now is really all they need to do, but they are ratting it out quite nicely. Ember's going to buy back. So that's another buyback force. They'll dust up Tavo, and he's just going to turn and, like, 4-hit.
How many silences does he have?
Can he just hit him one more time? He gets it. But they do lose him. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Offlaner for a support, but meanwhile, up top, there's a little more damage coming in, and they're having to split up at the moment. The only problem is that without Tavo, they have a tough time sieging the space.
Yeah, and they're kind of scared about the teamfight potential that Luccini has, so they're gonna try to give some space, some, you know, like try to make them chase him, so they're able to pick him off easily, because, I mean, they have the invisibilities, they have the blink, well, if Lena was up there, I mean, they have the ways to pretty much ambush people quite easily, honestly, on the side of Pain. While Luccini is they're banking more onto a head-on fight. And, you know, burning so many buybacks in the last, like, what, 10 minutes have been quite damaging to them. I mean, look at the graph.
Yeah, Luccini has fallen way behind. And up until about half an hour into this game, we only had about, like, a 1,000 gold advantage, maybe, and it went Luccini's way. But now there's 15k gold and XP, mind you, on the side of Pain. And I'll flip over to our buybacks for a second here. It is up on Nature's Prophet, Quap, and Skywrath, but no one else having it, although pretty much all of Pain's heroes except for the supports are very close to it. However, there's a Roche.
Oh, hello!
Maybe
this
going
is Nagasiren.
Uh-oh, Naga's got the Ags, and is officially going to be playing Medic Naga, as they do have the D-Ward there, and they know this Roche is going on. However, they can't get anyone into the pit to orchestrate it, so they will just say, okay, you've wasted all your wards, nice job, and... well, they may be going for this. Gyro's coming around.
Jump in.
He's got the slows out. Ember does have a remnant right up here onto the cliff. A stun going to be coming out toward Queen of Pain, but ADR, he's going to get caught out right here. He's vacuumed onto the cliff, but still doing damage. Arguez, he does get the wall off. ADR going to have to hit himself a little bit up here, and he's going to be in trouble, having a tough time getting down. But meanwhile, Lucky is going to get away with the Glimmer Cape there, just barely, after HFN uses the ult. And Queen of Pain blinking away. There's a BKB. And Queen of Pain will actually manage to stay alive through this. Almost dead, sitting on 28 HP. It's just enough. They bring him down with the Lina there. But Ember, he's trying to stay alive. He remnants over the cliff. And where are all these illusions coming from? Lina barely keeping herself alive. They'll lose Skywrath in the meantime. Tabo on a killing spree with a double kill, as there's only 2 heroes remaining here for Luccini. I said they didn't have much to go into the pit with. And it looked like an absolute disaster for Pain Gaming with Gyro stuck on the cliff. But he'll pick up the Aegis nonetheless. There's a cheese here for HFN once he drops the Blink Dagger and just eats it right away. You know, not gonna let his cheese age too much. And whew.
That Aghanim's was the MVP for the Naga right there, man.
Yeah.
Gambit just like, oh god, thank god I have an Aghanim's.
And Queen of Pain had the BKB, so she was able to continue fighting through it. The problem was that they all healed up through it, and they're just like, okay,
like,
cool.
why isn't she dying? I'm dishing damage.
I'm doing damage,
hitting
right?
it with the hammer.
She have a
She
regen
ain't
rune.
dead.
Meanwhile, Lina is an absolute machine gun, sitting at 0.36 seconds per attack. ADR is solar crested up, and there's 50 seconds with no Ember whatsoever, unless you get some intervention from Valve devs to disable the buyback cooldown, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, unless you're like a reverse Necro, I guess. But I don't know how that would work, but I mean, yeah, HFN with over 400 attack speed, and that's the advantage of Alina, and she doesn't have any attack speed items per se. Just think about that.
Yeah.
ADR.
Vacuum, but no wall to follow it up. It's not on cooldown, but just not used. They're just trying to buy time for the Ember. The problem is, now they may have a wall, but they don't have a vacuum because they just had to use it. Tabo gets silenced, but they're going to come in now, hex up the Queen of Pain, and she's dead. And she bought that in the previous engagement, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, she did. It's a disaster here in the late game for Luccini.
I mean, looking at the draft, it makes a little bit of sense of why, though. It's like, okay, you're facing a Nitrous Prophet and a Naga, and they took already 2 lines of rags. How do you defend this? I mean, yes, Ember can hold his ground to some extent, but what about the rest?
Yeah.
You know, he's just casually tanking most of the damage, and HFN is just gonna pick the pieces.
Yeah, and he's just gonna Satanic back up and heal. He'll come in to maybe help the team, but he's kind of just inching toward it to get the flat cannon shots off on the enemy heroes while he takes the racks right now. Ember Spirit able to bring down Tabo, but Wyvern taking down Darkseer, Lina taking down the Earthshaker, and Lina taking down, of course, the Ember as well. As can they just okay, there we go. I was about to say.
Rage quit, baby. Classic rage quit.
Okay, unpause and.
They're like, yeah, we're done. We're done here.
Please, everyone else, just 10 more seconds. I promise it won't kill you to stay in the game. Anyways, game number 1 gonna go over to Pain in an excellent game. They had a rough early game for sure, but just managed to hold out to the late game, and that was the flexibility in their draft. Really able to sort of flex their muscles and figure out what they needed to do. Naga in the late game, even as a support, proving to be very scary, even with 0 kills. Had quite a bit of money. In fact, 8.3k just sitting on her toward the end.
Like just casually. Yeah, I just have like, you know, like half of the net worth of the enemy heroes. Yep. Of the enemy core on my back pocket.
Anyways, we will be right back with game number 2. I'm SP Revolution 5, joined by Rupture. You're watching Truesight TV. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back.